श्रीशैलेशदयापात्रं धीभक्त्यादिगुणार्णवं यतीन्द्रप्रवणं वन्दे रम्यजामातरं मुनिम्। श्रीमते रामानुजाय नमः। श्रीमद्वरवरमुनये नमः। श्री Baladhanvi Gurave नमः. Namaskaram one and all, and welcome to yet another episode of Everyday Encounters with Emperuman, part of the Sri Shabdam series. Through the grace of our Acharyan, this English series aims to reach the next generation of kids and non-Tamil speaking devotees, introducing them to sweet nectarine Purvacharya's work based on Sri Vaishnava Satsampradayam, all in small palatable sections with infographics and Devaganam. As part of this series, we relate to Bhagavan Sriman Narayana through everyday things we see as depicted by the greatest Purvacharya, Swami Prativadi Bhayangaram Anugrahacharyan, also known as Kanchi Swami. We began with water, rain, and clouds, and then moved on to animals like elephants and lions, and for the past 3 episodes, we have been drawing similarities between Emperuman Sriman Narayana and the bull. Adiyan will provide the links for all the previous episodes where we drew almost 6 similarities between Sriman Narayana and the bull, and today we will be diving into the next few similarities. So our next similarity will be exploring a major role that Emperuman performs akin to a bull in the field. Firstly, lifting weight symbolizes Emperuman's labor of lifting us from the worldly burdens. Secondly, plowing the fields of our hearts to sow the seeds of devotion. So, let's start with the first job description, that is, weight lifting or bearing the burden. He is the one bearing our worries and welfare on his shoulders. But who said so? Do we have any proof of it? What other proof do we need other than Sakshat Krishna Paramatma himself vouching this in his sacred Bhagavad Gita? This is the shlokam from chapter 9. The 22nd shlokam is Ananyas chintayanto mam yejana paryupasate tesham nityabhayuktanam Yoga-kshemam Vahamyaham. And now let's delve into the meaning given by Swami Ramanujacharya. To those great souls who are thinking about me without any other goal and fully worshipping me. Worshipping Bhagavan is worshipping his auspicious qualities and wealth. And who desire to be with me always, I bestow yogam. Yogam is the union with Bhagavan. And kshemam, that is, having reached the union, they don't have to return to samsaram. The key phrase here is Yoga-kshemam Vahamyaham. Vahati in Sanskrit means carry. So here Bhagavan Sri Krishna says that he will carry the burden of providing us the Yoga-kshemam. Sri Krishna promises to bear the responsibility of guiding us towards him and granting us the ultimate liberation. If he takes responsibility for granting even moksham, will he not also take care of our petty needs such as physical and monetary concerns in this world? As his property, we are under his care, and he, as our divine owner, ensures all our needs are met. Therefore, being under his care, we don't have any right to worry about our own welfare. Despite this, we often assume we are stronger than him and insist on carrying all our worries ourselves, moving around with a dull face, nagging and complaining. Meanwhile, he is constantly following us, ready to bear all our burdens. Where else can we find such a devoted assistance? How foolish we are if we miss this divine offer from Bhagavan himself. Prativadi Bhayangaram Anugrahacharyan Swami, PBA Swami or Kanchi Swami illustrates this with a very, very beautiful and touching story. Once there was a devotee who had staunch faith in Sri Krishna's statement, Yoga-kshemam Vahamyaham. I carry the burden of securing the welfare of my devotees. He made no effort to address his physical or monetary needs, relying entirely on Bhagavan's mercy. not only for his spiritual pursuits but for all aspects of his life. Bhagavan also kept fulfilling all his needs at the appropriate time, and life was going smoothly. But one day, Bhagavan decided to deepen his faith and test him. He stopped providing sustenance, yet the devotee did not lose hope and kept on reading those lines from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan extended the drought and did not provide food for a long time. After a few days, the devotee lost it. Out of dejection, this devotee took the Bhagavad Gita and crossed out the line Yoga-kshemam Vahamyaham with ash and proceeded to do his morning ablutions. On his return, he was surprised to see his front porch filled with variety of rich food. He immediately summoned his wife and questioned her, and she innocently said a boy had delivered it. The devotee inquired further, and the wife explained he looked like a cowherd boy with ash smeared lips. Startled, the devotee ran to check his book for the ash mark, but it was absent. Overcome with emotion, he cried, realizing it was a play of Sri Krishna, the Mayan, and he had missed witnessing the merciful Bhagavan due to his doubts. As he was lamenting his mistake and crying out loud, dear Bhagavan appeared in the blue sky holding his conch and discus. With a smile on his lips, he said, "Remember, I promised Yoga-kshemam Vahamyaham, and I will always stand by it." This is just one instance, but don't we hear countless stories of great devotees who have had similar experiences? Thus, Maadhavan is Bharavahi, a vehicle that bears all our burdens at all times. It isn't an easy job to bear the world on one's shoulder. If not for Bhagavan Sriman Narayana, no one else can do it. With him beside us, we would be foolish to worry about our body, mind, or soul, because we are his property and it's all his responsibility. So, leaving all our concerns to him, let's relax and be happy forever. With this, we conclude our seventh similarity. Like bull, Emperuman shoulders our burdens. Now, let's move on to the second job description, that is, plowing fields. Before the invention of modern equipment, it was predominantly the job of bulls to plow the field, crucial for preparing the land for sowing crops. Similarly, Emperuman Sriman Narayana also engages in plowing. But what is the field? It is our heart. He plows our heart to sow the seeds of bhakti, devotion, and to harvest that bhakti. Thirumarzai in Nanmugan Thiruvandadi calls Bhagavan as Bhakti Uravan, the farmer of devotion, the cultivator of bhakti. Emperuman tirelessly works to cultivate the devotion in the hearts of sentient beings, much like a farmer who diligently prepares the land, plants seeds, waters them, removes weeds, and applies manure. Even in this old world, Param Punattu, he is constantly plowing, sowing, and reaping the produce of sentient entities. Thirumbi thirumbi vidaithu valarthettiruppar. Despite the fertile nature of Sri Vaikuntham, Emperuman cannot bear the badness of samsara, that is, this world. He creates both the world and its inhabitants. Initially, sentient and the non-sentient entities, that is, Chit and Achit, were merged together, and out of his grace, he bestowed bodies and senses upon sentient beings, remaining as their indwelling soul, that is, Antaryami. He protects them and enables them to engage in actions that foster devotion. Nammalvar echoes this in Thiruvaimozhi 5.3.4, portraying Bhagavan as planting the seed of deep love in his heart and nurturing it. Immersed in bhakti, Arvar takes up a female form called as the Parangusha Nayaki and calls his friend and states thus, Tori means, O friend, Ooravar citizens, Kavai, accusations or stories about Bhagavan, Yeru it applied as manure, Annai sol neer paduthu, Mother's constant advice became the water. Yeeram nil vitti, sowing desire, became the paddy seeds. Nenjam perisayul, in the fertile field of big heart. Peramar Kadal, huge love amidst all the chaos. Kadal Puraya, which grew abundant like the ocean. Vilayvitta, the one who cultivated Karamar Meni, was the dark hued Krishna. That is, our Krishna used the accusation of people as manure and mother's constant advice as water, sowed the paddy seeds of desire and let it sprout in the fertile field of my big heart, making abundant ocean like devotion occur there amidst all the chaos. So these two arvas prove it that the love towards him is cultivated only by him. Parasara Bhattar also echoes this. Tam Tvam Kshema Krishivalam Haladharam. But why should Bhagavan do these actions? In fact, as Sri Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, Nahi kaschin kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karmakrit, which means no one remains without action. Similarly, Sriman Narayana also engages in activities. However, the distinction lies in the fact that Emperuman's divine actions, that is, Sriman Narayana's divine actions, are aimed at nurturing devotion within us. Whether it's rescuing Sita Pirati or slaying 7 bulls to win the hands of Nappinnai, all these pastimes are there to invoke devotion within us. The primary purpose behind all his deeds is to foster our love, only our love and devotion towards him. So here comes the question. If he is the one who is doing all of these farming of devotion in our hearts, what is our role then? What is that we should do? As stated in Thirumarshayalvar's pasuram, is it required for us to sow the seed of virtue, collect punyam, practice jnana bhakti or karma yogam in this old land to reach him? Well, the answer is astonishingly a no. More than our effort, what is required is a mere desire to be with him. Once we express the desire, he then takes care of all the farming activities required for the desire to be fulfilled, the desire of being in union with him. So, he becomes the goal and also the means for the goal. The goal is called as Upayam and the means for the goal is called as the Upayam, the path. Hence, ultimately, it's only Emperuman, that is Sriman Narayana, who tirelessly works for our welfare, sowing and nurturing devotion in our hearts, and ultimately redeeming us all. We just need to have the patience and the trust until he reaps us. See you all in the next episode with another similarity between Emperuman and Bull. Until then, Dhanyasmi Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.
ஊரவர் கௌவையரு விட்டன்னை சொல் நீர் படுத்து ஈரனல் வீத்தி முளைத்த நெஞ்ச பெருஞ்செயுள் ஊரவர் கௌவை எரு விட்டன்னை சொல் நீர் படுத்து ஈரனல் வீத்தி முளைத்த நெஞ்ச பெருஞ்செயுள் பேரமர்காதல் கடல் புறைய விளைவித்த காரமர் மேனினம் கண்ணன் தோழி கடியனே பேரமர்காதல் கடல் புறைய விளைவித்த காரமர் மேனினம் கண்ணன் தோழி கடியனே ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.